Hello and welcome to The Spot. I'm Scarlett Lewis and today we're joined by Business Development Manager and Employee for a Renewable Australian Energy Service. This is Aidan Gaffey. Thanks for joining us today, Aidan.
Yeah, not a problem, thank you.
So in light of the recent floods and the recent weather events that hit southern Queensland and northern New South Wales, it has left many Australians wondering, is this just the latest in a stream of climate change exacerbated weather events? Well, we're here with Aidan today to discuss all about renewable solar energy. Are Australians now choosing to change their thought patterns regarding cutting carbon emissions and choosing green energy? And what are his observations working in the industry? So Aidan, can you tell me a little bit initially about what got you into working in renewable energy sources?
So yeah, to be completely honest, I was just looking for a job. I was honestly wanting to work on my communication skills. So what I saw was an ad with Smart Energy with renewable energy. I joined up. First, it was just a job. As I've gone on, I've been with them for at least a year now. I've slowly just grown to actually enjoy what I do. So our job is door-to-door sales. So we go from door to door, talking to people, going on. I actually, since starting, I've actually learnt so much, grown to actually appreciate what I do as a job. I don't just feel like I'm going to people and just doing what most people do. I actually feel like I'm helping them out towards, renewable energy and helping the environment at the end of the day.
So do you feel like working with renewable energy has changed your beliefs on climate change action and the impacts of fossil fuel-based energy on the planet?
100%, 100%. So on a daily basis, I talk to maybe 80 to 100 different people, and they all have completely different views, different ideals on renewable energy. And what I've actually seen is both sides of the coin. So people that are against it and people that are for it. The people that are for it are far, far more than the people that are against it. The people that are against it most of the time, it doesn't even weigh up why they're against it, usually because they're old. I've had people honestly just tell me, I'm too old, I'm gonna wait until the next generation so they can handle it, so they can do something with solar, which is so it's not how things need to go.
Yeah, certainly. And in light of the recent floods, I think something like around 50,000 homes in South Queensland were left without power, losing these critical communication systems and basic amenities. I mean, it's one of the first things to be affected by floods and natural disasters. Whilst power from your natural core electricity grid most likely cuts out in the event of a storm. Will solar panels in the event of a flood that doesn't reach your roof continue to run? Are there safety issues with that? Should these people who aren't choosing renewable energy decide to choose renewable energy in light of this?
So the way that solar works is the panel goes on the roof, sunlight hits it or UV, and it creates energy for yourself. So you pretty much are your own generator of electricity. That only occurs during the day. So throughout the day, you are running on electricity, you have no worries. So in the case of floods, anything like that, if the grid's affected, people that don't have solar, they're not gonna have energy. People with solar throughout the day are gonna keep using their energy because they produce it themselves. That's how that works. At night time, not so much. That's when people start to look at things like batteries. And the way that works is solar goes on the roof, it makes the energy. What you can do then through the day is store it up so you can use it at night. So in the case of floods and that, if the grid's affected, you're not going to have electricity. With solar, you're pretty much your own holder, creator, you do it yourself. The only time it would then be affected is if your house gets flooded or there is any issues with the house. When it comes to actually safety issues, solar has this thing called a Clean Energy Council. So what they do is they regulate wind, solar, all renewable energies. What they've done is put in regulations to ensure that there's isolators throughout the solar. So you have an isolator switch on the solar, you have it at the meter box, there's heaps of things installed if there are any safety issues in that.
Yeah. And why do you think solar energy is all around a better option as opposed to fossil fuel-based energy?
I really like solar because, as I said, you make it yourself. You're sitting there with your own generation. With fossil fuels, you pay that for the rest of your life. It's damaging the environment. It's something that you're never going to stop paying off. With solar, it typically works by you slowly pay it off. Once the system's paid off, you've got your own generation. You're looking after the environment. In the first year of you guys having solar, you save like 8 tonnes on carbon emissions.
So there's certainly a cost effectiveness to choosing solar as well as an environmental effectiveness. What can you tell us about government subsidies and grants into solar energy? Is enough being done by the government to subsidise renewable energy?
So the government has been looking at providing grants for solar for a while. So about 10 years ago, they had grants out. They cut them off simply because they were helping out too much. The government was losing too much money. They just couldn't keep doing it. A lot of people during that time put solar on, and they actually very much benefited from it. That stopped, but recently in the last 3 to 4 years, the government now gives out a certain amount of money to each homeowner to actually put the solar on the roof. That's just in New South Wales. South Australia, they have battery grants. The state governments are all doing very different things, but it's all pushing towards people having solar on the roof, batteries in their homes, getting away from carbon emissions, just trying to help out.
Well, there you go. It seems like solar might definitely be the option leading into the future. Thanks so much for joining us, Aidan. It's been a pleasure.
No, it's been lovely.
And you were watching The Spot. Join us next week. See you then.